Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. So today we're going to have a look at Bad Penny by Rory Gallagher. We're going to have a look at all three parts of the song so that you can jam along to it at home. It's a song that's just been going around my head all week, so I thought we'd have a look at it. So to begin with, we've got the first part, which is the bit that everybody knows. Then we've got the verse part, it also serves as the intro. And then we've got the bridge. Between all three of them, those are all the parts for the song, and then everything else is improvisation. Make sure you stick to the end of the video because I'm going to go through all three of those in detail and talk about them. So let's get to this first lick. Now I want to preface this that I must have watched Rory Gallagher play this a dozen times in various live clips, and he plays this riff wherever his hand is closest to on the neck. I've seen him play it up here, I've seen him play it down here. You can play it in an open position if you want to. We are going to go here, which is where I think he's doing it on the original record. So we're going to start on the 7th fret of the G with his ring finger, and we're going to pull off to the 5 and then hammer back onto the 7. We're then going to do a position shift up 1 fret, and with his index finger we're going to play the 6th fret, and then we're going to hammer on to 7. I'm then going to pick the 8th fret again, bend it, bring it back down, and then play the 6th again. So that's the first 2 bars. Moving into the 3rd bar, I'm going to do a position shift again, where I'm just going to kick that index finger back a fret, followed by 6 with the middle finger, and then I'm going to do a semiquaver triplet, which means I'm going to play the 5th fret I'm going to pluck that, and then I'm going to hammer onto the 6th and pull off again, like a trill, and then I'm going to go back to the root on the 7th fret. Play the whole thing. Pause the video if you need to. If not, we will move on to the next part. Now this is going to require the most patience, I feel like, but take your time, it's well worth it. If you're struggling with it, just play. You can start by playing each of these chords with 2 downstrokes, like this. All the messing about in between them is just extracurricular, okay. So let's go with what's written. We're going to start with the D minor chord, and I'm going to play the open D string, and then I'm going to strike the remainder of the chord. I'm then going to do a really quick upstroke, but I'm going to let go of the chord. That's what the zeros are. So you've got 0, D. Yeah, those open strings there, and that's going to give me time to get this. Now, you can play an F bar chord. I've opted for F major 7. It just fits a lot better under my fingers, and I've seen Rory play it with his thumb over the top and his mute in that there. So that's, if it's good enough for Rory, it's good enough for me. So we've got D, open, and then we're going to mute the A and the, we're going to palm mute the A and the D strings to get that chunkiness. Yeah, that. And that's giving you time to get that index finger and the middle finger right for the remainder of that F major 7 chord. The triangle's jazz speak for major 7. And then towards the end of that bar, I'm going to play the F with a downstroke again, so the middle one, I'm talking about this dude here. And then I'm going to let go of the 2nd fret on my way to the C, but I'm going to keep that index finger there because I'm using it again in the C chord. So you've got the F. You see how I let that middle finger off? Again, it's punctuation and it happens in a blink of an eye. And it adds to that sort of scruffy nature. So the whole first bar. Sorry, I missed a note there, didn't I? Then I'm going to go to a C, and the eagle-eyed among you will spot that we're going to do down, up, down with the C chord. But can you see how the middle finger for the middle C chord comes off? So I'm playing a C with a downstroke. I'm then removing the middle finger and keeping those two on. And then I put it back down to strike it again. And then I'm going to hit a D with two downstrokes. We'll talk about these last three notes in a second, but and then you've got the two Ds. Now that last D minor is quite quick, followed by, which is open A. You can hammer onto that 3. I will do that occasionally, but I'm not hearing Rory do it consistently. So it might be there, it might not be. You can pick it, or you can hammer on. Either way is fine. Pause the video if you needed to work on that. That's easily the most difficult part of the piece. But like I say, if you're struggling with it initially, just come back and watch the video at a later date. For now, just practice 2 D minors, 2 F major 7s, 2 Cs, 2 Ds. So that's part, what we'd call the A section. But that's like the verse stroke, the riff, the intro riff. And then we've got this part. So Rory uses, you can use open chords if you want, but I'm using bar chords for this, and that's the way that I see him playing it. So you're going to do, just because we can play something more complex doesn't mean that we should. The way that I'm hearing this is he's playing just downstrokes on the downbeat of the bar. So we've got 3 Cs followed by a G, which looks like this. Wrong camera. So it's the A-shaped bar chord. I'm going to do it with 2 bars because my fingers are like sausages. Can you see how I did the C chord 3 times? And then in the second bar, can you see how I just stated that C? So you 3 strokes of C, 1 stroke of G on beat 4 of the bar, followed by 4 more strokes of C. We're then going to go down to B flat, and we're going to do 4 strokes of B flat. And then as we enter the last bar, we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3. So we're going to do 4 quavers on the B flat, and then on beat 3, we're going to play a quick C, and then the whole band stops before it goes back to. You see in that 4th bar, you've got 4 hard strokes of that B flat, followed by a short, sharp C. And then it goes back around. So, the lead guitar part, the verse part, stroke the intro riff, and then the bridge or the chorus, whichever way you want to think about it, is equally fine. And I'll leave it up to you guys to decide what parts go where. Whenever I think of a song, I think of that song in 3 sections, rather than we play the verse 8 times, we play the chorus twice, we do the bridge. It doesn't compute. I've got to know a song inside and out, and I just know when it's going to change. I know that's not very helpful for some of you, but that's how I keep as many songs in my brain as possible for all the different bands that I play for. Okay, and it's just such a fun riff to mess around with. You start with the A section. Etc. So I hope that was helpful. A little bit of something different, but we've been doing a lot of like sort of Thin Lizzy and Gary Moore and that kind of stuff recently, and it sort of fits into that. It's more sort of early 80s than 70s, I suppose, but it's still that same kind of bluesy rock guitar playing that is just so awesome. So let me know what you think. It's a little bit more technical, this one. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. If you've got any suggestions, hit me up in the comments below. If not, I'll see you for another lesson next week. Thank you very much.